one of my kids. I had to jump off the live. It's crazy, man. Damn. I had to jump off my live real fast. I'm gonna have to get back into this right fast. But damn, man. I was talking about what's going on over there in South Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, like what's going on over there. You know, man, it's crazy. When you went deep through it and you really just like you just expressing yourself and you talking and you going through what you're going through, then you already know it's weird because like it gets super weird sometimes, man. You gotta express yourself in such a way, man. I was talking about what was going on over there in South Africa. Back to that. So it's weird to me like how so we was at the point of gentrification in the conversation, right? So doing real estate and then um you know doing real estate here in the states. 'Cause I do real estate all over this country. I had a license for decades in New York. I had a license for quite some time in New York in the five boroughs, but we do real estate everywhere, like all over the country and in different places too, to be honest with you. But when we was looking at Boys in the Hood, you're looking at a movie like that. You're looking at a movie like Boys in the Hood, and you're thinking about like Dash, like when he was explaining. I was saying Lawrence Fishburne. Then that's where I'm at. See, I'm in my 40s, so I forget about shit sometimes. So it was Lawrence Fishburne. He was explaining to Cuba Gooding and Ice Cube about gentrification, right? So gentrification, to me, always rhymes with a word that separates us, which is segregation, right? So he was explaining it to him how like how people would move into a neighborhood that's not the same background as you. They don't have the same ethnic background. So they move into the neighborhood. They're in the neighborhood now, and now they're gonna develop something. Develop it, move somebody in, whatever the case may be, and more than likely the people not gonna be like you. More than likely the people gonna be a lot different than what you are. So they move these people in. You can't get something because they moved in. So you can't get what you need in order to be who you need to be, right? So so gentrification pushes you out. That's the explanation of gentrification. The word for evolution is something changed and you're part of the change. When you look at neighborhoods, like when I was growing up, Brooklyn was fucked up. Everywhere has something called a flight, whether it was the Great White Flight or people just left, whatever the case may be, it's there. It's real. Change happens, right? Evolution happens. Modification sometimes or sometimes is not. When you go to a neighborhood and somebody mentions the word gentrification, that means that one ethnic group left by another ethnic group coming in and doing something called ethnic cleansing, right? That means you won't see that ethnicity there no more. That means that if there was an entire neighborhood of Italian people, and but in this neighborhood, a group of Polish people came. They didn't like it. They didn't like what was going on. They got up. They moved. Gentrification. When you start talking gentrification or gentrifying a neighborhood, but you're like some kind of other country background, the shit ain't real, B. Like I don't give a fuck what anybody say to you. It's not fucking real. It's not nobody able to tell you that, oh yeah, you black, but you come from Detroit. Now you left Detroit and you wanted to move to Maryland. You left Detroit and You wanted to move to Maryland, the state. The area of Maryland that you move into is predominantly black people, right? You can't say a black person from Detroit left Detroit and moved into Maryland and be like, that's gentrification. That's not, right? Here goes something else. Say that person left Detroit, right? Now Detroit could look like how, like, in certain cities right now, everything is still like going through what it's going through, right? So and pick anywhere you want, I don't care. But you left from where you was at, you moved to over this area, but this area has vacant houses. So it's all vacant houses. But you came, somebody or you renovated this vacant house. Turn the house from vacant to livable. Now it's a little livable unit that you could live in for you and your family. You didn't gentrify anything. That's part of evolution and how life moves on, right? Because you now come over to this area, you're now living in this area, you now live there, you have improved what was going on. If the place was abandoned, it could have been abandoned for 10, 20 years, maybe even longer than that sometimes. But if the place is abandoned, you moved into this abandoned home and house, because it's not a home yet. It's an abandoned house. You turn it into a home for you and your family. That's not gentrification, right? And you gotta say these words to certain people because, like, brainwashing somebody is very easy to see. It's very doable. People get brainwashed and they don't know, because you know why? If you sit around and all you do is watch TV and you don't know like what certain things mean, TV becomes your teacher. It's now your where you get your thought process from, right? So you're sitting there and you're like, yo, you know what? You know what? These people came and they messing everything up because they gentrifying the neighborhood. You heard about the word gentrification from somewhere. You don't know what it means, but then say, like, you can't say that it's real gentrification for the terms of what that movie was talking about, because no developers came and developed your neighborhood. A person came and they re-established a home. That makes it a huge difference. It's not the same, right? It's even more not the same. Yeah, I'm gonna talk that way. I don't care. It's even more not the same when the person is the same skin color as you. Now, just because we have the same skin color don't mean we have the same ethnic background. But again, gentrification is huge. It's not a one thing. It's not a one house gets renovated and then one, that's not gentrification. Also, you can't go into that existing neighborhood. Say you want to say this. You want to say, oh, white people coming in my black neighborhood and they're gentrifying the neighborhood. And you go around that neighborhood, right, that person is talking about, and then you see other white people already there. See, you failed. That's what I'm talking about. You can't, and that's why a little bit of paying attention in school goes a long way. A little reading of a book, sometimes even a video. That's why I'm doing this right now, because sometimes you can watch a video and you can see something, and that video can explain something to you. You can see what somebody is saying to you about something, right? Because we use the words that are given to us sometimes in terms that make no fucking sense. It makes no sense, right? You're sitting there, you're saying, oh, these people are gentrifying my neighborhood because they come from another state, right? Then you'll do something like, oh, then here go the corrector, right? Because you got one of those in jail. You got somebody everywhere you go, the corrector. The corrector is the person that they got the information. They know what to tell you, right? Cool. Corrector comes and says some bullshit like, "Oh yeah, they not gentrifying the neighborhood. Those are transplants." Fucking transplant? You retarded? Yo, again. Yep, I said that. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna apologize. I'm sorry, but not sorry. You're not gonna say somebody is a transplant like they got picked up, right? Like the government picked me up. The government picked that person up and planted them there. That's a transplant, right? You take a say like you let's do this, right? For the small, okay? I'm trying to help. I know a lot of people that was in special ed. Say you got a pot that got a plant in it. It's in a pot. You grew this plant from a seedling, but you need it to get bigger. It needs to become a tree. You would then take that pot, bring it to somewhere, or from it could go from your kitchen to the backyard. It doesn't matter. You then transplant the plant from the pot into a bigger pot. Transplanting, right? You go to the doctor. The doctor says the heart you got is not worth shit. If we don't give you a heart transplant, right, you're going to die. So they're going to now take a heart out of somebody else, right, and transplant that heart into you. You see what they did? They used their hands, right? Transplanting. So you can't say me consciously, right? Say I come from Detroit and I want to move. That's what we was talking about. I want to move somewhere. I'm picking a place on the planet. And I moved to this place, and you can't, oh, that's a transplant. No. See? So we gotta deprogram the fuck out of our brains because we sit there on this life that just isn't real. It's crazy to me to see like so many people that's like uneducated. The statistics of a whole bunch of shit is a lot of motherfuckers can't even read. So that's why I'm doing this video, because I could write this down. I could put this on my blog. I could have had this on my blog and just like put it up there and had, you know, wrote all this down. I could talk the text, all that shit, right? But I wanted to do it like this because I really wanted people to like get that visual. I'm not your professor. I'm not here to like be your teacher. I'm just explaining something the way I learned it, right? Somebody said this to me in a classroom. I wrote it down. So I'll go back to my notes from when I was a kid. So, so, so it's not transplant, it's not gentrification. So what is it, right? We could go with evolution. We could go with, oh man, that shit was fucked up, so somebody came and fixed it, right? We could go with some shit like that. A lot of things we can't go with. And like I was saying, when I was growing up, Brooklyn wasn't as pretty as it is today, right? I even go a little bit further. The man who you see right now, right, running the country. I did some deals with some of those buildings that had his name on it. I've seen him in a lot of parties, spoke to him a few times. Gotta tell y'all, in real life, I never hung out with him at any of those parties. And because he's like almost like my pop's age, if my father was still alive, right? He's not even almost. He definitely would be because he's older than my mom's. So I wouldn't have been hanging out with him. So me being around anybody was always a professional level, right? You're doing deals, brokerage deals. So when you see something like that, this is what I'm talking about. What evolution is. When I was growing up, Manhattan was, and for all y'all that's about to eat your panties in a bunch, and you might get your titties ruffled up, but Manhattan was fucked up. The Upper East Side, the Upper West Side, nobody wanted to live next to that park. Like when I was a kid and that thing happened at Central Park 5, everybody was like, wow, those kids was crazy to even be in that park after that, after the hours. But that's what you would do to prove that you were brave, right? You would go into these parks, Central Park, Prospect Park, right? Because those for us was the woods. Just think about it. There's no more woods in the sense of like how you got the woods today. Y'all got the woods. Sometimes you can hear people playing in the woods or whatever the case may be. And if you think I'm bullshitting, one day I'm gonna go on a live for that, or I'll shoot a video out there. Or you can hear people playing in the woods. So going in those parks for us was the woods, because everything surrounding the areas is not woods no more. Everything surrounding those areas now is the city. But for people that's like our parents, you know, I know a lot of people that's still alive right now that could tell you how Manhattan still was like the woods when they was growing up. It was still like some woodsy areas besides Central Park. And when they went and they would tear it down and they would put a neighborhood there. Like some people was around for Peter Cooper to come around and house in different areas to actually be erected out the ground, right? So when you think about like something like that, you can equate something like that to like gentrification, right? To me, gentrification, that word period, sounds more like segregation in 2026. So when I was growing up, the Upper East Side, Upper West Side, it wasn't a desired neighborhood. When we was kids, and I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, right? Tell your friends, share this out right now. Let your friends see this right here. I'm gonna tell y'all something that's really real. Like when I was a kid and I was growing up, we would go out to Manhattan, right? And I'm gonna lay it on y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Y'all should share this out. Y'all should let y'all friends know. Cause I ain't a lot older than a lot of y'all. I got kids that's some of y'all ages and most of y'all motherfuckers my age. So some of y'all know about this. A lot of people ain't even from New York. When we would go out to New York, and that's the truth. This is a real, yeah, I'm gonna keep breaking it up. This is the real reason why a lot of people didn't like Giuliani. It wasn't that Giuliani ain't come through and clean shit up. Giuliani came through, he cleaned it up. But you know when they say sometimes people do too good of a job, that motherfucker came through and he did like a really, really good job at cleaning up Manhattan. And I mean, like, when I say a really good job, I mean, depending on your preference. Because I'm gonna say this. When I was growing up, we would leave Brooklyn and go to Manhattan. We would get on the train. Now, let me tell you, all this you risking your life. You risking your life. It was rough getting on that train. A lot of people couldn't ride the train when I was growing up. The train was not a luxury. The train was like survival. And if you could make it from one stop to the next, if you could get from where you started at to where you was at, then you got off, you was a survivor. Rudy Giuliani came through, and that man cleaned up New York City too good. For only like I said, it's your preference of how you like stuff. The crime, he did a great job on getting rid of the crime. And you gotta get rid of the crime in order to make it more spiffy. But he also got rid of the prostitutes and the hoes that was outside anyway, because they took it inside. It didn't stop it. Shut the fuck up. It didn't stop it too much. But when we left Brooklyn, we would go to Manhattan because you could literally go out in Manhattan, ass and titties everywhere. It's a true story. Ask your mom and your daddy. If they from New York, they know. Ass and titties everywhere. Free. Free. You ain't had to pay for it. Of course, if you wanted to go a little further, they was going to charge you. Not me, because I ain't buying. But they literally, you go out there, it'd be women all over the place. And if you was into it, men too. Or if you was a woman that needed a man, he was out there for you. It was just out there. Sodom and Gomorrah. Thank God, somebody came along and said we're gonna stop this shit. Cause it was getting out of control. At least they thought so anyway. Maybe it really was though. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we would leave. You would leave from the borough you lived in to go out to the city. And that's what we call Manhattan. Manhattan was the city for us. We lived in the boroughs. The boroughs was a lot of houses, and the tallest buildings in the boroughs was the projects. It's not like today where downtown they got skyscrapers and all kind of other shit. For us, the tallest buildings, if you wanted to see over the city, you would go to the rooftop of the projects, right? So your man, your man dead ass came through, and he came through on a suite. Everything got to stop. And it wasn't like, look, we talk about this today. It ain't that they cared about what black people was doing, because they didn't care. They was round and round shaking down black people. That was to take the attention of off of what they was doing, right? Because you shake me down, I don't got nothing on me. But to the guy who was running things for real, he think that they not watching him, right? For me, they let me go, or they could have been saving. They saved a lot of people's lives too. People don't look at it like that. People don't look at it like you getting arrested was really you being rescued. People be thinking like it was something else. Sometimes they would lock you up, and then you'll hear where you was at got shot up or something like that, and you like, oh man, I'm lucky. Nah, man. Sometimes they knew it was about to pop off, and they came and got your ass. I gotta get the burner phone, man. I ain't mad if you was. Back in live, I guess. Let me see. I don't see the clock running. All right, let's get back to business. Let's get back to business. Hold on. Where my thing? Where am I put my earpiece at? So I can hang this shit the fuck up. I just had this shit in my pocket. Oh, it should be falling out my pocket. Cause I don't want to have it on the earpiece. Let me make sure I just turn that part off. All right, so here it is, right? So we back to business. I gotta get back to talking, y'all. All right, so back to what's going on in South Africa, right? We talked to you about gentrification. We did all that good shit, yada yada yada, right? So we know what's what. So we out in the world, right? We doing what we gotta do. We out here. Gentrification. Where we at? Where we was at? We was talking about South Africa. So for all my people around the world, when we going through what we going through, it's crazy to me like how easy it is for somebody to attack somebody else, right? Somebody will be like, oh yeah, um uh the this colored person over here, that colored person over there, they don't belong. But what is it when the person is your color? When it's black on black or white on white, some shit like that, right? What do you call it then? You can't be like, oh, it's gentrification. So people try to, they try to transition the word from gentrification to some shit like transplant. Anything to like separate each other. And I'm telling you right now, it's terrible that we be going through that. It's easy to be like, yo, the separation is easy because I believe a lot of separation happens in the household. A lot of separation happens in like where people live at. Yo, hold on. Yo, do me a favor. Did I leave that piece in there? Can you check right there? It should, if it's not right there, it should like be by my eyeglasses, my case. You can leave that right on the car. So got it. Right? Damn, I'm sorry, y'all. It's a busy morning, and when you use one phone, I need a burner phone. That's what it is, man. When you use one phone for like everything, it's crazy, right? So anyway, so we try to do videos like this to like do the education, right? Because when we talking about the people that what's going on right now, say like what's happening over in South Africa, the only thing you could really do is say we gotta educate each other, man. It's crazy. It's crazy like what we go through, with the background that we got, how people did stuff to like people that look like us, how people did stuff to our ancestors. Now we all know it goes without saying it didn't happen to everybody. So a lot of people don't feel that pain. A lot of people don't feel that pressure like everybody else does, right? Very, very simple. It's a simple thought process. Some people feel it, some people don't. Some people know that they was ancestors from slaves, right? But that's not just like black people. That's all colors. All right, cool. I think it slipped out my pocket when I came in here.
Think it fell in between the seat?
It probably did, yeah.
All right, I'll be back.
All right, thank you.
It's too hot.
Okay.
Give me $10 at the gas pump.
Yeah. It'll be in the utility bills. So you know what I mean? So when you're thinking about that, when you're talking about like we doing so everybody knows that they're not descendants, right? So right now I believe that the people are like, oh yeah, if you're not originally from here, which is crazy because you can't say they was transplanted from Uganda or Botswana or they came from America and was transplanted there in order to do something to you and your people. What you can say is, yo, this is how we operate. Let's operate similar. Because you can't really tell somebody what to do. It always implodes on you, right? Eventually, sooner or later, those people who are saying that these people got to get out of here, they're going to turn on each other next. Because that's what happens. It won't go outward until the powers that be push it outward. The powers that be will not push it outward because they saw what happens when you start letting shit go outward. When it started to go outward, the world started to see a certain freedom going to those people. It's now a different kind of freedom, like a true freedom coming towards these people. The Afrikaners that weren't originally from there, right? And the people who actually came now, and in this day and time, they left. They was out. We out of here. We getting out of here. But they didn't leave broke, right? And they didn't leave without the media. So they left with the media, and they left with the ability to make sure that these people understand y'all not going to be able to do what you got to do because the brainwashing is already implemented. The brainwashing is already implemented. That's already there. Like it's already ingrained in them. They already that whole we gonna look out for each other and everything that came with that shit gone. Like those people that used to be like that was oh yeah, we gonna help each other out. Them people, that ain't there no more. They ain't there. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, I've seen it here. I've seen it here like where you can see somebody with the progression. You can see somebody actually make their way up, right? They make their way up. They start climbing the ladder. They start getting to where they got to get to. And then here comes the person that's like, yo, you know what? We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that rise. That's a cake that's baking that we're going to have to pop that cake. We're not going to let them get to where they need to be at. And then you know what happens? People lose it. The minute that you be like, yo, this is gonna win, and we in the winner's chair, you got somebody right away that's gonna knock that down. That thought, that notion, that whole everything that goes with it goes out the window. It ain't something that sticks around. So unity is crazy because when you're trying to like unite, when you're trying to get things to go a certain way, it's always gonna flip-flop a whole nother way, right? It's crazy because like when you see a person that had that power for unity, That person ain't here by force though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who they had that power of unity in the beginning, they not here no more, and that's because people really, you know what I mean? It's a certain type of person that's like, yo, we need to end that. They don't have it. They don't got it. Right? You got to think about that shit, man. A lot of people don't got it. A lot of people don't got what you think that they should have. Like we be sitting here like, yeah, we united, right? We even got a chant, united the people, blah 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 blah, right? But you'll see how easy it is to tear away unity if you could just do something like get up there with a hate speech or some shit like that, and then next thing you know, it's all broken up, and that's what be happening with like that's what's happening right now over there. But the truth is, it's ingrained in people in such a way that it happens everywhere, and it happens everywhere on a regular basis, man. It happens all the time. So it's not just like what's going on in South Africa, it's just what's going on in the world. Because you'll see somebody don't like you just because you're from another state. Or somebody don't like you because you're a different shade of brown. Somebody don't like you because you walk differently, you talk differently, you look a little different. And that's crazy, man. Some things that we gotta really sit down and be like, you know what? To achieve this goal, we gotta stop the bullshit. You know what I mean? Somebody gotta be like, to achieve the goal, we gotta stop the bullshit, man. But people not gonna stop, man. They're gonna continue doing stuff every now and again. They're gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, that they disrupting the program. Cause that's just what they do. It's just in them. Right? It's in them to be as evil as possible. It's in them to make sure that like the part of success isn't there. It's easy in them to make sure that they're doing something that really fucks up everything else for everybody else. But really what they doing is just fucking up some shit for themselves. That's some real talk, man. There's a lot of people out here like that, and that we call them crabs in a barrel. Crabs in a barrel. I don't know about like if you in one of those things that you told somebody say that. That's where it came from. When I was growing up, crabs in a barrel. Somebody would be you, and they don't even want to come here. And you like, damn, what the fuck was that? But it's too late because you was trying to pull them up. It's crazy because like you see that right now. So many people went through what they went. Look at that Mandela go to jail, doing that time. It's not even real that you could even be one of those people to chastise them. Because how you gonna be like we be thinking about like, oh yeah, America should step in. Somebody should go over there and do something. How do you really be? And the easiest thing for them to do is just pay for the ads and tell you how bad things are, and now you got to correct it. Now they out there acting like this. That was the easy part. It's weird to me that so many people fall for that, man. It's 2026. It's a day, age, and time where you should be like, yo, you know what? I'm not gonna turn on my people just to make you feel better. I ain't gonna do that shit. But it's not gonna happen like that. It's really not. Today's like a day, age, and time where you could be like, oh, you know what? Look how easy it is for me to be in your living room right now, be in your bedroom and talk to you like this. It's so much more easier today than it was yesterday. But so many people just they don't see it like that. Like they steady fighting against like evolution. Too many people are really fighting against evolution instead of saying we need to evolve and we need to evolve together. And if we evolve together, everybody's not going to be rich out of the evolution. That's not the plan. You could be rich with who you are. Be rich in love. Be rich with, I don't know, man. It ain't all about the financial part all the time. Y'all hear me talking about money a lot. That's because money's important. You can't pay your bills without money. But the evolution, right, in real life is what life really is, right? We're all going to evolve. We're all gonna go to another place. Like we're gonna step our shit up to a higher plane, right? You think about it like that. And that's the evolution part of it all. The evolution is like, all right, we there where we gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? And we all get to be there together. See what I was saying to y'all in the beginning? Like, I don't know, this video broke up a few times, so. But the evolution part is where it's really at. The evolution of like, all right, we was here, we all stepped over here, things are a lot better. People will say shit like, oh no, the more people that move into the neighborhood, because they listening to somebody else, right? They listening to somebody else, so they'll be like, oh no, all these people moved into the neighborhood and now the taxes went up. All these people moved into the neighborhood and now we got a bigger bill on taxes. They was gonna charge you more taxes anyway. Y'all just don't know. You're not in those meetings. You're not in those meetings. They was gonna charge more on taxes anyway. It's not like they woke up and they thought about you. They wasn't thinking about it. They don't know you. You take it personal because the news person gets up there, and that's how it all goes down. The news person went up there, the news person said XYZ, so you ran with it. Because the news person said it. The news person. That's why your man keeps saying it's fake news. It is. Because they're told what to say. They're like actors. They get a script. They read off of a teleprompter. They get paid to tell you that shit. So while we sit here trying to have evolution happen and have things go into a next place to like a whole nother light, people are stuck. They stuck because they look at the news, and that's the only form of education they be getting. That's it. There's nothing else. It's the only form. So we're going to get it together one day. I don't know what day, but one day we're going to get it together. Maybe. You just never know.